Hi, it's Cantor. How are you this afternoon? We've already done a few letters. We've done Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, and now we're up to Zayin with a nice Z sound. Zayin. In Hebrew, Zahav, that begins with a Zayin, is the Hebrew word for gold. Zayin, Zahav. Let's hear a story about the letter Zayin. Well, it was a beautiful sunshiny day, and all the birds and animals were out enjoying themselves in the Garden of Eden. There were two ducks flying around. Use your imagination. They were flying, and at the top of a tree, they noticed a nest, and in the nest was a very big blue egg. It was much larger than any egg these two ducks had ever seen. Well, they were very curious, and they wondered if this egg would hatch. What kind of bird would come out of it? They waited, and finally the egg started to shake, and out of the egg hatched the biggest bird they had ever seen. He was beautiful, red with blue and yellow feathers. "You are the biggest bird we've ever seen," they said. And the big bird said, "I'm hungry. We'll get you some worms." So they flew away and they bought him some worms. And they had to bring so many worms to this bird because the worms were little and the bird's stomach was really big. Finally, he was through. He was full. And all the other birds said, "We'd like to make you our king because you're the biggest bird we've ever seen. Hurrah, king!" "Wait, what's your name?" "I don't have a name," said the biggest bird. "I was just hatched." "How do I get a name?" "Well, you could use our name." And all the other birds wanted the biggest bird to use their name. But the biggest bird said, "I really need my own name. How do I get my own name?" And the duck said, "Oh, that's easy. You just go to the alphabet and they will make a name for you. They're right down there." So the big bird flew and flew across the fields of the Garden of Eden until he found all the Hebrew letters just hanging out. Hold on while I get them. When the Hebrew letters saw the big bird flying towards them, they all got a little afraid. "What do you want?" they said. "I just hatched and I need a name. Will one of you be the first letter of my name?" The first was Aleph, who said, "I just remembered I made an appointment to start a name for somebody else and I have to go. Bye." "Who will help me get a name? How about you?" he said to Bet. Bet froze and had nothing to say. "Well, how about you?" he said to the next letter, Gimel. Gimel said, "Sorry, old bird, I already have a friend in the animal kingdom, Gamal, in the desert." Dalet had already left. He realized he'd left a door open someplace. "What about Hey? What about me? Could you make a name for me?" "Oh, look, I'm in so many words already. It would just be unfair for me to hoard and take up everybody's, no, I can't be in another word." "Well, how about you?" he said to the letter Vav. "Me? I'm so skinny, I don't think I could do justice to a big, imposing bird like you. And the bird said to himself, kind of looked like one of the worms I ate anyway. But next, he asked the letter Zayin. Now, the letter Zayin was a fearless, brave letter. And the big bird said, would you be willing to come up with a name for me? And the letter Zayin looked him up and down and looked him all around to the tip of his beautiful pink tail. And he looked at his beautiful blue and yellow and red wings. And he looked from afar at his big beak. And he said, I would be happy to be the first letter in your name. As a matter of fact, I would be happy to be the first and the last letter of your name. You would? Yes. How would you like to be the name Z's? Z's? Yes, said the bird. My name is Ziz or Z's, and that is the name of a legendary huge bird in Jewish tradition. Z's, that starts and ends with the letter Zayin.